I know you're probably super excited to be here with everybody this evening. We are going to be here. We're going to have some fun tonight, just changing things up just a bit. So hang in there with me. All right. So again, happy evening, everyone. Super excited to be here with every one of you tonight. Take a moment if you're watching right now just to share this out to your tribe. Let everybody know that we are here. And then in just a minute, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. And then, of course, I'm going to have others introduce themselves as well. Oh, my screen is green. Why is that? Eventually, it will be a different color. All right. So hopefully everyone's getting a chance to go ahead and share this out. There we are. So hello. Happy Wednesday, everyone. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Reverend Joanne Angel BarryColon. I'm the founder of Holistic Fitness, and why? I am a holistic integrative teacher, medical astrologer, master of numerology, Reiki master, card creator, and card reader. And tonight it's all about 4 astrologers coming together to share insight about what's known as Age of Aquarius, as Pluto has literally recently, just moved into Aquarius energy. And what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to go around the room and I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves. And then we're going to dive into this amazing conversation. So Kitty, come on up. There we go.
Joanne, your view is only a view.
I'm going to change that.
Okay, good.
There we go.
Otherwise, I'll be the voice in the background. We're still, I've got it open on Intuition. So hello, Intuition of the Soul. Hello, Healing Circle. We're both shared out on both of them. I'm Kitty Buiteweg Foss, known as the storytelling astrologer, reader of the stars. And I am here. I'm very excited about this Pluto conversation and the degrees because we've been talking about it as it's been playing dip in and out for over a year. And when it first went into Aquarius back in 2022, it was a really big week astrologically that this happened, and it was kind of a foreshadowing. So I'm really excited to hear the other people's intake on what they see, what they're hearing. What a wild week of energy that last anaretic degree of Capricorn has been. Wow, wow, and wow.
All right, next up, let's bring Patricia up.
Hi, I'm Patricia Herlevi. I'm also known as Astrologer Patricia. I always say that's my YouTube channel. I'm also Reiki Master, card reader, and all the other things that you mentioned. But I've been doing astrology since 2012 professionally because the Mayan calendar got me interested in it. And Pluto, I'm really excited about conversation about Pluto. I've been talking about Pluto for years. Haven't had it in my first house for 16 years. Or almost 16 years. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this conversation tonight.
Thank you, Patricia. Love all that you do, and I'm so grateful that you're here this evening. Damaris, come on up.
Yes, hi. Well, I'm Damaris Smolinisji. I've been doing astrology since 2005. That's when I really started it. Fell in love with it because for me, it was just the foundation of everything else. I also am a Reiki master teacher. I also do tarot readings. But everything that I do, the foundation is really astrology because it's really the basis for everything. So I'm really happy to talk about Pluto as well. When I had the conjunction of Pluto and Uranus when I was born in my sign Virgo, so Pluto is very dear to me. And yeah, I'm happy to talk about it with you guys tonight.
Thank you, Damaris. Thank you so much. Love that all you do, and really just excited about the energy that's going to be coming through tonight. So very excited about this. Very excited. So what we're going to do tonight, as we're all here sharing energy insight and bringing to the table insight so you can all walk away with something. And I'd like to really start off with the big topic of the night, which is Pluto transiting Virgo's energy. Besides the fact that Pluto is in Aquarius, it's literally sitting in Virgo's energy for the next 20 years. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have Kitty come on, and she's going to share a little insight regarding the Pluto Virgo energy and what this actually means. And then she's going to dive into talking about the house placements from the first to third house. And each and every one of us are going to give a little insight based on the different houses. So every one of you can take a little something away from this energy for the night. So again, my suggestion, if you have your astrology chart, just to make sure you have it with you so you can sort of follow along. And if you don't have an astrology chart and you're new to this, follow along anyway, take some notes, come back later and rewatch. It will be available on YouTube later on tonight. And you can always reach out to one of us or all of us at any given time at the end of the evening, just before we end the topic. We will all share how you can contact us. So Kitty, if you wouldn't mind, come on up.
I can't tell if I'm up or not because the delay. So I'm assuming I'm up.
Yes.
It's really it's a very interesting time. It's interesting that we're all four of us here are Pluto and Virgo human beings, so we're all in that age of the crone. I'm also, but all of us have Uranus hanging around too because of its placement at the time we were born. I do believe this is an age of the crone. There's a reason why the population that is dealing with this. So what she's talking about with Pluto, so Pluto is transiting different homes. Like if you're an 11th house placement, it's going to be it's where Aries is. That's going to be the 11th house that's transited, and so on. The only house that Pluto is transiting that's its home placement is Virgo. And so even if you're not a sixth house Virgo placement, Virgo is being transited that's where Pluto, what it's traveling through. And so when you're talking about the sixth house energy, you are talking about the transformative period of life. It's a challenge over the next 20 years for routines to be embraced, to change the unexpected events. This is a time of amazing, especially right now, as it enters into this unexpected events coming forth with unique ideas and perspectives in all of the little pieces. We're talking about Virgo, we're talking about the pattern, the as below, how that steps forward. Virgo is the most, in my opinion, misunderstood energy in the entire zodiac because it gets a bad rap as nitpicky, all of these things, but it's a solution generating energy. I don't even want to call it problem solving anyway, more because then you have to say, oh, there's a problem. It's always looking for a solution, whether it's asked to or not. There is Virgo's double edge there. And there are going to be profound changes in our health habits because of its placement through that sixth house. You know, in Taurus, it's going to be going through the 10th house, so there'll be professional status. The ninth house is going to be Gemini energy. So as it's traveling, there are other lessons, but because of its placement through the home placement of the sixth house, it's going to be really unique, and we're not going to recognize our bodies. We're not going to recognize the systems we have in the next 20 years in all of the smaller ways. That is kind of the concentration of this journey through Virgo versus last time where it was through an air energy. So it was all about the ideals across the world when Pluto was in Aquarius. And of course, that's when the Declaration of Independence, that's the French Revolution, that's all of those bigger ideas that swept. This is very physical. This is also going to be about Mother Earth herself and the service to Mother Earth. So this is about breaking habits when you talk about Pluto, transformation. I'll be curious. I'd love to hear when the other people come up what sign they are. I am a Scorpio. So Pluto is a friend of mine. I am not only just a Scorpio, but I'm a packed 10th house. I'm a stellium in Scorpio, born on 11/11, you know. So this transformation period and the moon I was born under, this is why I'm here. And I'm very curious what that's going to mean as we look at these unique ideas and perspective. And as a woman who's 64 years old, we are a group of people that can be very overlooked and dismissed. And so, in this transformational energy, here are all of these people in this age group with this placement. So there's a bigger universal plan. So that would be my brief
Perfect.
introduction about
Perfect.
that.
So Katie, if you can share with us the houses of first, second, and third house in regards to Pluto actually being in Virgo in the first, second, or third house, what that's going to look like for anyone that has.
Well, first, second, and third house placements are all about your inner child, your inner work, your ancestral piece. That is the quadrant of how we bring things forth, how we step into those archetypes. And the third house is going to be Sag, the second house is Capricorn, and the first house is this Aquarius energy. And so it's really about our social network environment, how we look at just like the early degrees, the very innocent, very profound, very direct core, that we're looking at the vision, because this is what Pluto in Aquarius is about. It is about the transformation of the vision. Pluto is the planet of transformation. It rules Scorpio as well as Mars rules Scorpio. So it's how do we align our will with whatever this vision is? And it's the very simple, childlike piece of us that, because your first house is how others see you and how you are seen by the world. So it's also what you attract. The second house is all about your values, how you stabilize yourself, all of those things. And the third house is how you communicate it, how you experience things, and how that gets expressed. All of those inner workings, especially in childhood, you know, everything I needed to learn, I learned in kindergarten. Just that. How do I speak? You know, consequences, and also how I look at what is valued. So that's where we are with those first three placements.
I
So we're
love,
looking at truths, structures, and vision
yes,
in those.
I just truly, truly, truly love that in regards to helping everyone to really understand where they are on their journeys. Now, I'm going to be speaking about the fourth, fifth, and sixth house. And I'm going to speak about it in more of a physical way of things, considering my background as a holistic integrative teacher and also holistic personal trainer. So when we speak on the fourth, fifth, and sixth house, Pluto in Virgo in the fourth house, this is really about taking care of your home. And when I speak of home, I speak of three areas: your actual shelter where you live. Like, this is the time to tidy up that space. This is the time to make sure everything's working, make sure your plumbing is working, make sure you have no holes in the roof, make sure everything is just in the order it needs to be. Because again, if you know anything about feng shui, if we have holes, or if there's plumbing issues, or if the windows don't open, that's a collective energy of what's going to show up in your external life. So for example, if your windows do not open, let's say in a bedroom or kitchen or whatever have you, or even in your car for that matter, that means that your windows are like your door. And that means that you're not going to be able to open doors for opportunities. So it's really important to pay attention to that. And as I actually say that, it reminds me that my car window is not opening. So we're going to have to fix that really, really quickly. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to do that, but yes. And also we talk about windows, especially like your area where you have your career section in your house. If you have windows there, those are your eyes. So if those windows are dirty and they don't open, that means you're not going to be able to see what it is you need to know based on what this energy is. When we speak about Pluto based on your physical body, this is the time, again, to, as Kitty said earlier, this is about taking care of your physical body. This is about getting your health and fitness on your schedule, getting a practice going, getting a meditation practice going, because this, especially the first 3 years of this energy, it's so important to take better care of yourself. So as you take better care of yourself with nutrition, meditation, rest, exercise, and I'm an advocate of strength training, so definitely want to get that going on. In addition to make sure you're getting the rest and the sleep, and then making sure you're hydrating and fueling your body, because that's all going to play a role to this fast energy we are going to be feeling, because you want to have the energy to do the things you're looking to do. And last but not least, based on this fourth house energy, your career. Those of you who do have Pluto Virgo in your fourth house, there's going to be some career changes going on because it got service energy. So pay attention to where you are in your career right now. Pay attention that if you are working on the outside, this may find you wanting to work more in your house. So maybe doing more virtual work versus going out. So pay attention to that. Moving into the fifth house energy, it's all about change. It's about change. It's about freedom. It's about the unpredictability. It's also about being more spontaneous. So as it is with Virgo there, where they're structured, they're based on a routine, and they're sort of like that stickler to like doing everything on time. With it being in your fifth house, you may need to have a little leeway with yourself, because things may just unexpectedly take you to do something different. So be on the lookout for that, and do not allow yourself to get into a state of anxiousness when that should happen, where all of a sudden you get a phone call like, hey, I want you to get on a Zoom call with me right now because we have something important to discuss. Be ready for that unpredictability to show up. In addition to your health and fitness, same concept. Because it's your fifth house, your body is going to be changing. Your body's going to be changing. So important to pay attention to those changes, however they show up for you, and recognize that your body is your temple, your body is your messenger. So whatever it is that's going on, that the changes that you're going through, pay attention that it's more of a metaphysical as opposed to medical. However, do not overlook it based on the medical aspects as well. So just be aware that your body will go through some changes. And then last but not least, the sixth house, one of my favorites. The sixth house is all about service. It's about your health and fitness again. So again, for those who do have Pluto Virgo in sixth house, this is service. How are you going to show up? How are you going to be seen? Which again, that sort of blends the process of the physical and also the work, because you want to show up. You want to show up in the body that you feel confident and comfortable in, which means you're going to have to put on your schedule to take care of yourself. You don't want to show up feeling sluggish or tired or overwhelmed. You really want to be in that space where you feel powerful and strong and feeling good in your body, because then it shows in the energy and the work that you do. So that's the energy we have going on between fourth and fifth and sixth house. And again, this is based on my intuition, based on the work that I do. And I'm sure there's so many other point of views to the fourth, fifth, and sixth house, but that's my point of view for today. So I'm going to be bringing in Patricia to share about the seventh, eighth, and ninth house.
Okay, these are good ones for me because I have my natal Pluto in the eighth house. So seventh house with that Aquarius energy coming in there, that's the relationship. That's the partnership house, at least as far as I've learned it. And it's also the business partnership. So I think business partnerships are going to have a very big switch up. I think we're going to be more in the entrepreneurial. I think I see a lot of people actually leaving corporations and starting home-based businesses, and different kinds of partnerships where we can have collaboration, that whole Aquarius grassroots collaboration, takes a community, takes a village kind of thing, where you might have a whole neighborhood maybe has a business together, where maybe you have like one house in the neighborhood or several houses, but there's like networks that will build. I think the partnerships won't just be like a single entity. I think it could be more on a pod level, because Aquarius is more of a group type energy. And for the eighth house, I just see a lot of soul work, a lot of really deep soul work through somatics, Reiki. Reiki, I believe, fits under Aquarius. Astrology is going to be changing. So a lot of that working with energy, you mentioned feng shui, just going really deep and also, continuing to integrate those shadows, but to do it more through, instead of talk therapy, it would be more through electrical energy, maybe sound healing, again, Reiki, just things where you're working with the electrical, neurological system. And I think that's going to help people with a lot of their psychological issues. And also I see resources being more of a crowdfunding. That's probably more 11th house. But I see, resources as being more of groups of people pooling money together on projects and people pulling talents together instead of the lone maverick. I really do see that more group oriented. And for the 9th house, I see that as a higher learning, whether that's in spirituality or it's in academics. I think the whole university, I think everything's changing on that level. Also, the laws are going to change on the really high levels. We're going to have new systems that are going to come out of that. And I also just feel like when I think of Aquarius, I just think of electricity. I just think of really electrical, quick moving, futuristic. And I think if anybody who's been an empath or, anything on the fringe, we're in now. Like we're the thing. Before we might have been considered woo-woo or all these other things, but in the age of Aquarius, we're under that Aquarius, those themes, like we're going to fit in now. So that's what I get for those 3 houses.
I love that, Patricia. That is just so beautiful. Love all. I'm really excited about all that energy that's going on. We're gonna bring Damaris in now. Before Damaris starts her insight regarding the houses, one of the reasons why I chose for Damaris to read about the 10th, 11th, and 12th house is her background, her biblical background, because I believe that she's going to bring in some really intensified insight, because these 3 houses, the 10th, 11th, and 12th house, is really about the work that we're here to do and how we're doing it. So Damaris, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Joanne. And thank you for the invite to be amongst all of you guys. Thank you for allowing me to be here with you guys tonight. Okay, so I love the 4th quadrant. The 4th quadrant is really the higher consciousness, is really when we get into the higher Christ consciousness, I call it. The 10th house has to do with your reputation. It has to do with your status. It has to do with your standing in the community. So that also has to change. We have to have more integrity in the work that we do. We have to walk our talk. It also has to do with government. Government is going to change. A lot of the structures, a lot of the agencies are going to change. I mean, Pluto is a transformative planet, and the ways of the past have not been really working. They're not sustainable. So we're coming into a more sustainable kind of government, around the world, not just here. I see a lot of technology coming in. I see a lot of medical breakthroughs, a lot of, flying cars. I mean, there's so much technology that Aquarius has to offer. ETs, all of these things are coming in, communications with higher dimensions. Obviously, as we're getting, more deeper and deeper into our own sort of like spirituality and connecting with the higher consciousness and the higher source, we're going to tap into more and more different dimensions. That's what I see there. Our careers are definitely going to change to more unity-based, more collaborative, collective work, humanitarian work, which is more the 11th house. The 11th house is where we are going to do humanitarian projects. I love the energy of Aquarius, because the Aquarius energy is fighting for the underdog, for those that can't speak for themselves, for those that can't fight for themselves, the elderly, the children. So all of these things where we're becoming one human race and we're working in collaboration to make the planet a better place. The 12th house is really mysticism, is also the unconscious, where we're not conscious of our own abilities, our own vast soul, consciousness. And it's also, tapping into that energy of who we really are, getting rid of labels, getting rid of division, just getting to the core of who we are and why we're here. So, as I said before, the fourth quadrant is really the Christ consciousness, where we're going to really embody who we're here to be. We're going to get rid of all the wounds, all the things that get in the way, and we're just going to present ourselves and stand on that stage and be who we want to see in the world. It starts with us.
Thank you, Damaris. And you did not disappoint. I knew you were going to come in with that insight, and yes, I love that. Love that, love that, love that. So what we're going to do
I just want to add something before I go, before we switch. Pluto is really the alpha and the omega. Pluto plays two roles. He plays the devil, the villain, and he plays the god, right? So he takes us to the underground, to the underworld, so that we can transform, we can shift and become that phoenix, and then be, the savior, so to speak, for ourselves and for others.
I love that. Yes, yes. And we're so involved with talking about the Virgo energy with Pluto that, yes, thank you for that reminder about that Pluto energy. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to sort of change the format here in regards to where we get to see everybody now, bringing everybody on the screen, because now that you've had an opportunity to get to know the energy of the 12 houses and looking at your own chart to see where you have Pluto and Virgo, what house that is for you. Of course, go back later, look at your chart, come back to this and just sit with it so you can have a better understanding on how to navigate through this energy over the next 20 years. So yes, so what we're going to dive into now is the conversation about degrees. And at least for the first 3 years, we're in the very early stages of 0 to 5 degrees. And again, we're going to go around the room now, and mics can be open at this point. And we're just going to share our insight based on what the degrees mean, based on this particular energy, based on Pluto in Aquarius at this point, because that's what we're talking about. So Kitty, share your insight. And we're going to try to keep this where we're just going to explore. Go for it. Spirit just said, let it go. Let it rip. Go for it.
Well, the degrees are so interesting. We have cardinal fixed, just a brief thing for those folks who aren't, these ladies all know this. Cardinal fixed and mutable, and each of them has their own critical degrees. And so degrees have a lot to do with which, is it early? The kind of innocent, the raw early degrees of simple, direct character, trailblazing kind of energy. Then there's kind of the walking the walk, the middle decant, of how I learn about this and play with this energy and live it. And then there's the last, just like that last quadrant, that universal old age wisdom as we go through. We have just spent quite a long time in the 29th degree of Capricorn, which is called the anaretic degree. That is a karma reset. Basically, nothing will be the same once we move on the other side of the 29th degree. And so when we're in these early stages, we are exploring the vision. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and it has two parents, and Saturn. And Uranus is this great awakening, but it's chaos. It is that technology. It is that higher. It is all of the changing. And it's awakening. And right now, Uranus, by the way, is in Taurus, which it's not its favorite placement, but that's okay. It's getting us used to change and getting us to stabilize in change, because that's what its value is right now. And so we are really looking at how do we take and approach this vision in this early piece of this. And, as it travels through that first house, it's traveling through the house of Aries. What am I starting? What am I working with? I mean, we're all the same on the bottom when we travel through these. Ultimately, we come to a first house is about starting something. Second house is about that value. And then the third house is about how do I experience that and how do I communicate that? And so as we look at these early degrees, we are playing with the vision. It's not surprising that the world is in such an upheaval because it's asking us to look at our values in this vision. And with this transit of Virgo, it's all of the patterns that perhaps we have bought into that do not serve us any longer. And that's an individual thing. So one of the things you've heard me say 100 times is I am looking for the best version of me so we can hold the best version of we. Because Aquarian energy is, you know, it's the
Collective.
song, sympathy and trust abound here, you know, mystic crystal revelations and the mind's new liberation, Aquarius. And that's what we're looking at. What can we dream? I mean, when you look at, our country's United States, 249 years old, it was a dream, a birth of a vision in this coming out of that age of enlightenment, which was all about restructuring. So when we look at these degrees, what is the vision that we can hold? And it's not surprising that there's some real challenges out there for the underling so that it is about everything. It's got to be a groundswell of protection, not just the separateness that Capricorn brought us. 2020 was a surprise, but not for astrologers. We just didn't know what it was going to be. Like, what is
Exactly.
this going to be when we line up Saturn and Jupiter and Pluto? And Pluto is exactly what Damaris said. It is the dive into the depths of the dark to pull the light out. That's what its journey is. It is the house of the taboo. It is the house of, I'm going to transform. And it is the house that brings fear because it's change. And that is a human being. And fear isn't a bad thing. It's just that when it freezes us, we can feel it. It is about our learning. So we are looking at that vision. It's kind of, here's your magic wand. What do you really want the world to be like?
Yes.
Now you can imagine it.
Yeah.
So
I love the way Kitty provides the insight. And of course, I always have to come in and throw in the process of numerology into the conversation because it's my thing to do along with astrology, looking at the early degrees where we have this Pluto Aquarius and, as Kitty mentioned, ruled by both Uranus and also Saturn, reminding ourselves again that on the physical level, the Uranus energy is the chaos that we are experiencing in our physical body. And many of us for the last, oh my God, how many years have experienced chaos in our physical body as a way of reminding us that there is some sort of shift taking place. That's that 0 degree energy that's coming in and reminding us it's something new. I always look at the 0 degree as choice and potential. There's choices to be made, and you have potential to make those choices should you choose to. And then when we think about Saturn's energy, it's your structure, your physical structure. I truly believe that everything starts from within first before we can even break it out. So we have to take care of our physical body first to then be aware of what's going on around us, as we are all intuitive beings. And the more we become aware of our intuition, the more we become more sensitive to what's actually going on. And that's where we begin we get those downloads and the understanding to what is actually really going on. And we become more comfortable with the understanding of the unknown, the unpredictability, even the rebel that comes from us, and the chaos that shows up. And when we look at the second degrees, the relationships that we do have with all that is going on, with this Pluto and Aquarian energy, what is your relationship with your community? What is your relationship as a collaborator? What is your relationship with your physical body? Because again, your physical body is going to be your navigation system. It's letting you know who's the right people you want to be around, because you don't want to spend the next 20 years of your life around people that's not supporting you, inspiring you, and lifting you up. We've spent the last 16 years of our lives doing that. This is really time for new energies and new community. As we move into the third degree, it's about how we communicate. What are we sharing? How are we networking? We are here to work together, not apart. It's not about the me, it's about the we. And when we come together, because here we are, 4 astrologers working together. Now, when I brought this idea up to the 3 of them, they could have very well said to me, you want me to sit with 3 other astrologers and talk about astrology and dim my light so I can start? No. That's not about dimming light at all. The 4 of us right now, we are lifting each other up. And that's the creative flow that's coming through in that 3 degree. And then finally, the 4 degree, or should we say 5 also, the 4 is your foundation. What foundation are you going to build through the Pluto Aquarian energy over the next 20 years? And really thinking about it, even not the next 20 years, let's focus on the first 3 years. Because what we build in these first 3 years, which when you think about the numbers, which we'll talk about later based on 2025, 2026, and 2027, these are significant energies. This is what's going to be the baseline to what's to come in the next 20 years. And then finally, the 5 degree. Massive change. We are going to be doing things very differently. Patricia said earlier about in regards to technology and cars that are flying and just how we're integrating in a different way. So this is the energy we're moving into. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm super excited about this. And I myself have my moon energy in Aquarius at 2 degrees. And I have Mercury in Aquarius, and I have to take a peek to see what degree that's in. I think that's at a later degree. It sure is. It's about 28 degrees. We'll talk about that later. But that moon sign in 2 degrees, I get really excited, and Kitty knows this. I get super excited when the moon is in Aquarius. It's like something lights me up, and I just keep going. So I'm really excited about this energy. Patricia, how about you? What do you want to share today?
Yeah, I was looking at 2025 and 2026, and what is kind of exciting, but I would like people to know about is that Neptune is going to be dipping into Aries, Saturn is going to be dipping into Aries in 2025, and Uranus is going to be dipping into Gemini. And to me, that's a lot of the neurological system in the brain. And of course, we have a lot of research, and I have a neurological disease, but we have a lot of research that is going to be breakthrough. And also, there's going to be a lot of delays because I think there's going to be a lot of yods. Yods is one of my favorite things in astrology because when we have all that Cancer energy with Jupiter, it's going to go into Cancer in 2025. And of course, Mars is going to be doing that retrograde in Cancer. And so I think Jupiter will have that 0 degrees, but Mars is definitely, I don't think the Mars in Cancer is going back to 0 degrees. But when you have there's going to be a sextile between Neptune and Pluto, and anytime you get either a Virgo, I think it's a Virgo or how does that work? Is it a Virgo? I think Virgo is the one that throws in that's not, okay, so you got like a cardinal sign. Yeah, I think it's Virgo. When you get that extra Virgo coming in there, what you get is a yod. Or if you have Virgo in your chart between 0 and 3, or maybe 2 and 5, you have that 3 degrees for the yod. I think what's going to happen on a worldwide stage is we're going to be really innovative. We're going to want to get out things, right? And then there's going to be yield. And then a lot of what we start during 2025 and probably 2026 isn't going to take off for another 45 to 50 years. So I believe we're the way showers, we're the seed planters. And so we can't, even though the year is going to be going by really super fast, there's still going to be, it's almost going to be like hurry up and wait. Is what I feel 2025 is going to be. And that 0 to 5 degrees Aquarius, it's just that I think it's going to be moving fast because by 2026, we're getting into 7 degrees of Aquarius, but then we're still going to have a 20-year transit. And I think that kind of says it. It's like it seems to be moving fast, but it's actually, I think we're not really going to have this whole space-time thing anymore. I think a lot of these things that are part of our structure now, even within the first 0 to 5 degrees, we're going to start getting glimpses of all the changes that are coming up, and we have to adapt pretty quickly, I think.
Yes, I love that. And before we bring Damaris on, I just want to add to what Patricia was saying about the 2025 energy. Again, bringing a little numerology into play. 2025 is the collective energy of the 9. So it really is about a review of the last 9 years of our lives. So this makes a lot of sense in reference to sitting, reflecting on what was working, what is working, and what we need to do so it can work better. So I'm loving that energy. Damaris, bring us in, bring us
Yes.
home with this.
All right. So, I mean, for me, the way when a planet enters a sign at the beginning, I feel that the energy comes through, like rushes through. And that energy is like, we don't know what to do with it. So sometimes it brings such rapid changes, especially like what Uranus or Uranus, however you want to pronounce it. It's very unpredictable and it's permanent changes that happen overnight. So the changes that Pluto and with that conjunction of Uranus, the changes are going to be permanent. They're going to be like, it just happens out of nowhere. It shows up and we're not going to know what to do with it. And then slowly we're going to make sense of it. And we're going to sort of like adjust to all the changes that are coming. But I really do believe that 2025 is going to be the year of the purge. We're going to purge so many things so that the new can come in. By 2026, I feel like things are going to look, we're going to like come out of the storm, out of the house and say, okay, now we know, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, we're going to know more of those changes and what to do with it. But I feel like between now and the whole 2025 is going to be a lot of purging and a lot of changes that we're not going to even understand. We're literally living, history. This is biblical. This is biblical. And we're experiencing changes that we never, it's such a great time to be alive because we're experiencing changes in technology that we never even thought was possible. And so 2027, I think we're going to be in a really, really good place, by that time. But I think that the next 2 years are going to be a little bit rough. I'm not going to say it's all, peaches and cream. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to be adjustments and purging and restructuring and doing things differently because, as I said before, the way things have not been sustainable. The economy, everything is just, it's not working. And also the sort of like we have like a caste system, like there's the very rich, the very poor. That's all going to shift too. And so we're going to be using more of our gifts, our talents. Money is going to not play a role that much anymore, I feel. It's going to be the gifts from within that we're going to share. Bartering is going to be more of the thing. People that are very competitive and they want to, throw somebody under the bus. Those things are going to change as well. Those things are not going to jive. Again, we're going into into the collective, into humanitarian causes. But like I said, the 2025 is really going to be a rough one, I believe. I call it the purge.
I love that. I love that. And being that we've spoken so much about the Pluto Aquarius energy, earlier we spoke about Pluto sitting in Virgo energy. What I do want to bring on to the conversation before we dive into more about 2025 Drew, and I think we touched on that anyway, I want to talk about the fact that the North and South nodes are going to be moving into Pisces and Virgo as of January 10th. Now, I know, at least from Kitty and Damaris and myself, this is a big energy for us. For Patricia, I'm not sure so much because I don't know her planetary information, but I'm sure she'll chime in here. So for me, this is literally touching into my 9th house because I have Pisces in my sun energy and I have Pisces in my North node. So this is going to be a very interesting time for me in regards to all that I will be learning, exploring, and maybe even for that matter, maybe in this lifetime, Kitty laughs at me about this, maybe I will do some traveling, considering the 9th house.
Well, that's wonderful.
Is about
That's wonderful.
traveling. Now, my thing is that if I am going to travel, it's more going to be about traveling because to do the work that I came here to do, not necessarily about the personal aspects of things, but that's all good and said.
Just so you all know out there, she doesn't go very far. She went away for 4 days when she got married and wanted to leave after 2. So, it really is going to have to be about her work. On the other hand, I'm a Sagittarius rising, so yeah, let me go. Here's my suitcase, let's go. So, we're a funny pair. I am also, but I'm the opposite
She's the
of Damaris.
opposite of me, yes.
Yeah, I am a Virgo North Node and a Pisces South Node. And so it's an interesting time to have a Virgo North Node right now as we
And I want to add, Virgo is all about the physicality, the physical world, right? And Pisces is about the spiritual world. So it's about merging the two,
right.
merging the physical with the spiritual
It's finally
and
catching
having
up
that
to me, right?
that marriage, right?
It's
So
finally
Patricia,
catching
what's your nodes?
Cancer.
Ah,
Oh, okay, yeah, so
The very, very end, almost Gemini, so.
yeah,
okay.
yes, yes.
Um,
Yeah, so
So
this,
you're a little different axis. You just came off yours not too far long ago.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
So it, the thing about for me, a Virgo North Node is trying to find the beauty in the mundane. I can always go off into the spiritual world. Yippee! Um, and uh, and they talk to me. I did not realize as a child, not everybody had these voices telling them things
Yeah, I
constantly.
know.
No,
No.
I didn't know. I thought everybody did that. And so people would say like, well, how do you know that? I'm like, because they told me. And they'd be like, who's they?
Yeah.
You know, and so it's going to be, especially because of the other piece of Pluto with the Virgo, this nodal axis is going to be something to learn. And Pisces North Node is going to be quite a push.
yeah,
It really is.
I think that a lot of more people have to get in touch with their spiritual self,
yeah,
and that those nodes are going to help people get into that their own, spirituality. As you guys know, we're, spiritual beings having a physical experience, and a lot of people are not in touch with their spiritual self. So I feel like that's going to help them get into
Well,
that
and
process.
the Virgo piece of it is going to, I mean, just like this Libra South Node right now has
Yeah.
really taught us to look at our beliefs. Do I really want to believe that? Is that
Yeah.
really what's underneath how I'm acting? What can I start to deal with that belief? Now you're going to take what you've been looking at and say, huh, this is a pattern that keeps showing up for me. There is, I believe I'm a divine being having a divine physical experience because I'm a Pisces South Node. So, that piece of it. But I do believe it is about, as Joanne talks about in her holistic fitness, and you guys as Reiki masters, I just do astrology. Is
just does astrology.
yes, yeah. If you know me, that's like
That's a
amusing
big
all by itself.
platform, though. That is a big platform. She just does astrology.
Well,
That's
and if you know me, it isn't just I'm like I'm such a ninth. I live in the ninth house. Let me learn something new.
Yeah.
yes.
And I was a teacher by profession. Is very much this need for us to take these new things and look at these beliefs, see what the patterns have caused, and we're watching them unwind in the world, like almost to the point of ridiculousness at the moment,
Yeah.
and go, oh, this is not who we want to be. And so I can let go of some of these beliefs because I've spent this time in the world. Something's got to change, something's got to start. And I believe it isn't that we aren't able to sustain it, is that we are evolving to sustain something more universal.
Yes.
I read
Yes.
a great book called Sarah Bressmick Cosme, From the Trail of Tears to the Star People. And one of the channeled messages was, if you need to keep going in the pattern we've been going in Earth, you can do that, but it won't be on Earth. Earth is
Yes.
evolving.
Yes.
And so
100%.
Yeah.
Earth
I
is
agree.
evolving.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
if you still need those patterns, then you're welcome to them. But we are
Just
going to
somewhere else.
Yeah.
Just,
So,
just
I
somewhere
agree with
else.
you.
yeah,
You
what
know?
I like to do is I want to just dive into Damaris for just a second, and then I'm gonna jump back to Patricia. With Damaris, because again, both Kitty and I share the North and South. Hers is the opposite of mine. For Damaris, her birth month, she's Virgo sun, and therefore the opposition is the Pisces energy. So talk to us a little bit about how that is going to impact you based on that energy, because I'm sure there's other people out there that have a sun in Virgo and opposition Pisces.
It's so amazing because for me, I was born with the sun, like I was saying earlier, the Pluto Uranus energy. Pluto was 1 degree away from my Virgo sun when I was born, and Uranus was like about 2 or 3 degrees away from my sun. So I was born with this heavy energy of Pluto Uranus, conjunct my sun, and my moon is in Aquarius. So yeah, so I have,
Twins.
what was that?
We're twins. If your moon's in Aquarius,
Yes.
you and I are
So
twins.
I have the potential, I'm going to say, of really stepping into who I came to be in this lifetime. I went through a lot as a child, and I think that that was just like the training that I had to go through, get it out of the way. And I had to heal from it. It took me many years to heal. And now I'm in a place where I'm really confident with who I am and what I'm doing, and that I can step up, and not be, like you were saying before, not be afraid of being on this panel with other astrologers, because we're just bringing, different perspectives, and not being afraid of that, being in collaboration, which is what's going to happen anyway in the near future. We're going to collaborate. So I feel like I am going to really embody that of who I am and what I came to do, and work with others to help those that are not where we are yet.
Exactly.
And so I'm really happy. I'm really excited. I think this is my time now. And personally, because of my astrological chart, this is the time. This is it. This is what I came here for.
Exactly.
Awakening other people's consciousness if they're ready, if they so choose.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
That free will card, so to speak.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. You know that cosmic intelligence has two parts, and the two parts that it has is really, choice and willpower. So you make a choice, and then you have to have the willpower to actually,
And
take the
the
actions of that
yes,
choice.
yes.
And so that's really what it is. People have to make a choice. Like, you guys were saying earlier, what vibration do they want to live in? What wavelength? And so funny because the Aquarius glyph is the waves. It's the wavelength.
Mhm.
And so what wavelength, what vibration, a frequency do we want to, live in? And it's really a choice.
Yes. I love that. Patricia, for you, so we know that your North and South node are not in Pisces and Virgo, but what house is Pisces in for you?
It'd be second for Pisces, eighth for Virgo. I had my Saturn and my moon in Pisces when I was born, and also Chiron was in Pisces.
Oh,
So I
yes.
And I had a lot of friends in college who were Virgos and Pisces and Aries, but a lot of Virgos and Pisces I've had in my life. And I was also, as Kitty was saying, when I was a kid and more of a young adult, I used to have all these like spirits talking to me. And I used to be able to do really well on college tests and things. And I was wondering, like, where these, I mean, at the time I didn't know, but I didn't know that these spirits were actually helping me with my classes, and then later writing books, and I would talk to people on the phone, and I would just start talking like channeling, but I didn't know what that was yet. And people go, wow, you just gave me like really good advice. I'm like, I did. And so the whole realm of spirit is very thick around me. I mean, it's always, I've always had this interest in like when you're in nature and the spirits of the animals, and they, because people will just say, oh, that's just the dog. It's like, no, it's not just the dog. I got an animal education.
Tell that to somebody that has a dog as a pet. No, that's not just a dog.
No, yeah, exactly. And I think animal advocacy is really going to be bigger than
Oh
it
yeah.
now, because more with the communication with animals, and more people are going to be able to communicate with plants, and people are
Yeah.
going to have all of these gifts come on board that they didn't even know they had. And then they're going to have to go to people like us, because it's like, will you please explain this to me? The tree was talking to me. Am I insane? It's like, no, you're in the Aquarius age. I mean, it's all this telepathy and like talk about boundaries, because, we have to have boundaries without the telepathy. Imagine what it's going to be like with the telepathy. And also the serendipity, the synchronicity, like you think of somebody and then they call you, or, all of that's going to be intensified, I think, because Pisces is that realm of, is this a dream or is this physical reality?
Mhm.
Or with Saturn and Pisces,
Yeah.
Yes,
I
yes.
just went to
Yes,
Saturn return.
I just love that insight from you, Patricia. So we are literally at the hour. Can you imagine that we literally are at the
Wow.
hour?
So fast.
Time
It went
flies.
fast. It did. It went very fast.
Yes. So what I like to do now is we're going to go around the room. We're going to start with Patricia since we landed there. And Patricia, if you have an offering, complimentary offer that you like to provide out here, feel free to do so. If you do not, just offer your contact information where people can reach you at, feel free to do that.
Okay, yeah, I don't have a complimentary offer right now. However, you can reach me at Whole Astrology, WHOLE, and then astrology, 44, I think it's 444 at gmail.com. I don't use that address very often, or they can go to my YouTube channel, which is Astrologer Patricia, and contact me through there as well.
Perfect. And all this information will also be included in the Facebook page. So if you're not catching it, or maybe Patricia doesn't have the correct information, we'll make sure that correct information is available. So thank you so much, Patricia. We're going to bring up Damaris.
So I don't have anything to offer complimentary right now either, but my email address is damaris.smolinisji@gmail.com. Anybody can, send me an email, shoot me an email, and I'll respond.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Damaris. And thank you for sharing your wisdom today and
Thank you for having me.
bringing forward all that you bring forward. So thank you so much.
Thank
Kitty.
you.
My complimentary or is a $25 coupon to use for, I'm going to be starting in October, a new Optimize Your Energy, which is teaching you, I do not teach you to be an astrologer. I teach you how to use your chart to tell the story and the map of yours, of what it means, where it's placed in general, and it's in the story, so it's user friendly. And if you want to further pursue, you can do that. So it's called Optimize Your Energy, and it's a $25 off coupon for it's a 4-month course. It meets twice a month with also a personal time each month, and then you have a discount to go into. Joanne's in the bigger group that already meets every month. So.
Thank you, Kitty. Thank you so much for bringing your wisdom to the table, as always. Love that. All right, and for me, for those of you, of course, you all know me, my complimentary offer, as usual, is 15 minutes. You can turn around and take advantage of a self-discovery session. Whatever it is you want to discover, we'll do that in that 15-minute time. And all you need to do is send an email to healingwithin76@gmail.com to grab my calendar link. And remember that we're all in this together. And it's about the we, not the me. So find your tribe, find the people that's going to support you, lift you up, empower you, and encourage you. One last thing that I also want to put out there for those of you who are interested, for my women, I also have a Women Empowering Women monthly group. It is a membership where we come together on the second Monday of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if you like information about that, feel free to reach out. Same email as before. And I am just really excited. I'm going to bring us all back in one last time. There we go. And we're all here just to say goodnight and embrace this energy that we have coming through. We will all see you back, and we'll be witnessing every one of you as you go through your pseudo Aquarius energy. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.